Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming and welcome to our brand new and first battle reports for the new Horus Heresy game. Something that I am stupidly excited about because I love everything Heresy and it's so nice to get it back on the channel after what has been quite a pause.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has been quite a long time since we've had a Horus Heresy battle report on. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm taking my Ultramarines today. Robin, you are taking your...
I'm taking my Iron Hands, and those of you that have been watching along with the Call to Arms videos that I've been putting out will see some of the units that I've been painting up used for the first time, and also maybe some sneak peeks of stuff that I haven't showed you yet.
I'm interested to see these. So today's mission, Robin?
We are playing Dominion, which is a 5 objective mission. They're all in no man's land. And you basically get a point for holding them at the start of your turn. So a little bit like a 40k style one, really.
Yeah.
Secondary objectives are basically slay the warlord, and there's attrition, price of failure. But price of failure won't come into it in this one.
Nope.
And it uses all the normal special rules, so reserves, night fighting, blah, blah, blah. We haven't rolled off for night fighting yet. I don't particularly want it. Do you particularly want it?
Not really.
There we go. We ain't doing night fighting then.
Not really. I'm just looking at my army going, do I want night fighting? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. But you're running quite a heavy tank list.
Yeah, it's like...
it looks it.
Yeah, it's almost like I know exactly what Richard's going to do, and it's almost like I know that he's got 3 quad launchers, and I know he's got a siege breaker, and I know he's going to shower me with phosphex. So I kind of thought I might need to be in a big tin can rather than walking across the table.
And before anybody puts any comments on going, the Ultramarines wouldn't have used phosphex. Yes, they would, because Rabute Gulliman was a tactician, right? And he has everything at his disposal. And if he would look at a battlefield and go, this calls for phosphex, then it calls for phosphex. And I'm playing Robin, so it calls for phosphex. Obviously. So anyway, yeah, Ultramarines are running phosphex because why the hell not? It's fun to watch them all burn.
I'm using my Legion specific Rite of War, which is I can never remember I think it's Gorgon's Spite or something like that. It's basically the one where I can use Medusan Immortals, little sneak peek there, as troops, and they get the line special rule. So basically that'll help me in this mission because there's lots of objectives.
There are lots of objectives on this board. Really looking forward to this one. Obviously we're running quite a lot of troops because you need them to score, but then obviously we've got everything else going on as well. So shall we go and take a look at the battlefield? But before we do that, I've just remembered there is a link in the top left hand corner, possibly, that will take you to our sponsor Element Games. Don't forget you can go over there and get all of your hobby needs at a discounted price, and you'll be helping support the channel at the same time. Now should we go take a look at the battlefield? This is the Ultramarines army for today, and they are being led by a Cataphracti Praetor. He has a Chain Fist and a Combi Bolter, and his Warlord trait today is Burden of the Kings. I'm also taking a Chaplain who has a Plasma Pistol, and final HQ choice I am taking a Siege Breaker. He has a Thunder Hammer and a Volkite Charger. Next I am taking the first of my troops, which is a Breacher Squad. Yes, I know these guys have swords, but I am running them as a standard Breacher Squad. They are my red helms. Second troop choice, I'm taking a 10-man tactical squad. There is a Nuncio Vox in here, and the sergeant has Artificer armor and a power sword and bolt pistol, and they will be in a Rhino. Second of my troop choices, exactly the same loadout as the previous squad. Fourth troop choice, I am taking a 10-man tactical squad, no Nuncio Vox, Artificer armor, power sword and pistol on the sergeant. Into elites, I am taking my Invictara suzerains. These can hold objectives. They have the line keyword, so they are my 5th scoring unit. I have my Cataphracti Terminators, all of them equipped with Chain Fists. We have a Contemptor Dreadnought Talon, one with twin Chaos Assault Cannons and the other one with the Gravis Melter Cannon and a Power Fist. Next we have the Reaper batteries, basically allowing me to take Phosphex because of my Siegebreaker. I also have the Splinter Shells and the Shatter Shells. Into heavy support, I am taking my Spartan. Obviously, I've taken a Flare Shield because you never leave home without it. Scorpius Whirlwind and Leviathan Dreadnought, Gravflux Bombard, Phosphex Discharge, and the Siege Drill. And that is me 3 points short of 3,000 points.
My Iron Hands force for today is led by a Cataphractii Praetor who has been upgraded to be a Forge Lord. It's quite a hefty point sink, but it does make him pretty tanky. So I'd like to see how he goes on. He's got a Paragon Blade as well. All the guns that you see on him he can use, but only one at a time because he hasn't got the targeting protocols rule. Then we have the Moritat with the Grav Pistols. So can't wait to see how that does against the Spartan or another tank or whatever. I think that'd be pretty good. And then as my third HQ, bit of a random pick, this one. You don't see these very often, but this is a Mortificator. He is basically a tech marine that likes hanging around with dreadnoughts. So this is actually one HQ choice, the Contemptor Dreadnought and him as a squad. So the Contemptor Dreadnought is kitted out with 2 Gravis las cannons, so lots of anti-tank there. I am running the Rite of War, the Company of Bitter Iron, which means that I can take Medusan Immortals as troops, and they get the line keyword. So I've got 1 squad of Tactical Marines, Sergeant's got Artificer and a Power Fist, Medusan Immortals, Power Fist and Artificer on the Sergeant. There's also 2 Grav Shredders in that squad, which is a unique bit of war gear for the Iron Hands. It's basically an Assault 2 Grav gun, which is pretty good. And then the last squad of Tactical Marines, Sergeant's got Artificer and a Chainsword. Elites, I have a squad of Terminators, Cataphractii Terminators, 3 Chain Fists, 2 Power Fists and a Heavy Flamer in that squad. And then my second elite choice is the Gorgons. I think these are pretty good. They're pretty cheap for Terminators, 200 points. You get a Thunderhammer in there and the rest are axes. Some Feel No Pain. Not quite as tanky as Cataphractii, but I think they should probably do some work, hopefully. Then we have some heavy support, which is Derideo. What you see is what you get, so just completely standard, apart from the Aleos missile launcher. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the missile launcher on top anyway. And then we have the Leviathan Dreadnought. He's got the Siege Drill with a Melter in. He's got the Nipple Flamers and then the Storm Cannon. Storm Cannons are pretty tasty now, so hopefully it'll do some work. The rest of the tanks that you see on here, because I know that Rich is going to be bringing a lot of Phosphex, everything needs to be in boxes. So this Rhino is the dedicated transport for this tactical squad here. The Land Raider is the dedicated transport for these Gorgons. This Land Raider is for the Medusan Immortals, and then the Spartan, the Terminators and my Warlord are going in there. In terms of my Warlord trait, he has got the Silver Iron Will, which basically makes him immune to things like fear and those types of effects, but also gives me 2 reactions in either the shooting or assault phase, but I can't do one in the movement phase. So downside to it, but I think the upsides work really well with this force.
This is the battlefield for today's game, and as you can see, the first of the 3 objectives are on the Ultramarines side of the board, and then we'll go through the army for me. So on the right hand flank we have the Spartan. Inside of that is my Cataphractii Terminators, my Praetor and my Chaplain. We then have my Siegebreaker just hiding out around the back slightly. Then we have all the Rapier destroyer batteries all the way up on the top to give me some nice lines of fire. Yes, I am running phosphex, but I have shatter and splinter shells as well. Underneath that, I have the Rhino. Inside of there is one of my tactical squads. There's the other Rhino with the other tactical squad in. We have the 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts, one of them with the Melter, the other one with the twin-linked Carus Assault Cannons. Invictaris Suzerains here, ready to move up the board. I am foot slogging them, so that's going to be quite an interesting one today. And then obviously the Leviathan Dreadnought with the Gravflux Bombard, and then the Siege Breaker Drill, so I need to get into combat really with some big chunky tanks. We then have the third of the tactical squads looking at going up and taking one of these objectives. And then finally on the left hand flank we have my Scorpius Whirlwind, and we have the Siege Breakers again, a objective right in front of them, so should hopefully be able to grab a couple of them at the start of my phase 2. Over on this side of the battlefield, the next 2 objectives are all the way down here on this left hand flank. That is why we've got my 2 Rhinos on this side, plus we've got my Spartan. So over to Robin here now then. We have tactical squad all spaced out because of the phosphex. We have the first of the Land Raiders, we have the Deredeo Dreadnought, we have the Spartan, and the second of the Land Raiders, Leviathan, Contemptor, Rhino. And then with the Contemptor Dreadnought we have a Mortificator. He's going to be running around trying to fix him up. Tactical squad in here.
Tactical squad.
In this one.
That has got Gorgon Terminators.
In the Spartan.
That has got Terminators and my Forge Lord.
And then final.
We've got the Medusan Immortals and the Moritat.
Ooh. It is the Ultramarines to go first, unless of course Robin can seize. Do you want to?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay, go on then, roll the dice. He does not. Gone quite aggressive with the Ultramarines in turn 1. The Spartan has moved up and is looking at some shots down onto Robin's Land Raider. Rhino following up as well. Siegebreaker, I've moved forward 6 inches. He's going to look at help the tactical squad inside of this Rhino protect that objective by swinging his hammer around. Rapiers have all stayed still. The Contemptor Dreadnoughts have moved up. Got some nice shots going in down there, if in range. Leviathan Dreadnought, that has moved up as well. Invictaris and the tactical squad moving up now onto this objective. That objective now being held by the Breacher squad. And then finally the Scorpius Whirlwind has not moved. So let's do some shooting. Not exactly the worst round of shooting ever. The Scorpius Whirlwind shot down at the... what's he called?
He's the Mortificator and the Dreadnought.
That's
They're
the
a squad.
one. They are a squad. So I shot down there. No damage done. The Rhino and the scenery were slightly out of place. We've put them back. The Leviathan Dreadnought not in range. The Rapiers shot down at the Land Raider down there with the Medusa Immortals in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a fair bit of damage. Did a couple of chips off the old hull points. Then the Carus Assault Cannon and the Melter shot down there, as did the las cannons from the Spartan. It is alive with 2 left, and it is also immobilised. Slightly disappointed that I didn't actually destroy it, but it's immobilised, and we've killed 1 guy off from this tactical squad. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. For the Iron Hand's first turn of movement, Robin has gone quite aggressive actually as well. Rhino.
Had to really, because the majority of the objectives are on your side.
That is true, you have had to.
I have got 2 line units holding 2 objectives there, so you've got 1 here, you're scoring 1 on your turn.
Yep.
I'll be scoring 2 as long as they don't die,
Obviously. So anyway, Rhino's moved up, ready to take on the Breacher squad. The Dreadnought and the little Buddy have moved up. The Land Raider has as well. Everything stayed inside of that Land Raider.
That's still got the Gorgons inside. The Leviathan's just moved from around here just to get line of sight on the Leviathan.
So I did react with my Leviathan. I have moved him forward 4 inches.
He went, bro.
Bring it. What have you got? Over here, the Spartan has moved up. The Deredeo has moved round, because you kind of boxed him in a little bit there, didn't you?
Well, if this hadn't have been immobilised, it wouldn't have been as much of a problem.
But it is.
It is. So
ha.
Yeah.
Anyway, then over here we've got the
Terminators and my Forge Lord. They're charging at the Terminators. I've got loads of sort of anti-dreadnought fists in there and melter and all sorts, so that should be okay.
And then here,
the Moritat. This is going to be good. Can't wait to do this. One shot Spartan. This is how you do it, folks. This is how you do it. So there's 2 grav shredders in there, which are basically like an assault grav gun, and then he's got the 2 grav pistols. So he gets 12 shots, and it's Haywire 2.
Yeah, brilliant. And then obviously the troops.
And then tactical squad. So they're moving up. They're holding that one. These are line because of my right of war. So they're holding that. This obviously hasn't moved.
Obviously.
I was toying with the idea of bringing this squad across to fix it, but then what's the point? It's just a gun platform at the moment.
No guts, no glory.
That's it.
Robin has just rolled the Moritat squad down here at the Spartan, and as you can see,
and the 2 grav shredders,
and as you can see, my Spartan is alive with 1 hull point remaining. So I have just taken 10, I repeat, 10 glancing hits. And
9 glancing hits, 1 pen.
Correct. And then I did a reaction of Shrouded.
And managed to keep it alive by rolling really hot on 5s and 6s. I'm not salty at all.
Yes, basically I rolled a lot of 5 and 6s on my Shrouded result, and it's still alive. Robin.
I'm not even surprised though, because that's what Richard always manages to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's alright, because I've got like a couple of Land Raiders that could shoot you, so it'll be fine.
I'm going to say you've got a gun platform here.
Yeah.
Right, let's go carry on shooting. So Robin was on a mission to destroy the Spartan, which he did with the Land Raider. So I had to bail out all my Terminators and my Praetor and my Chaplain. They got shot at by the tactical squad down here, doing me 1 wound. And then around here, multitudes of shots for my Dreadnoughts. My one with the Melter is left with 2 wounds. My Keris one is left with 3 wounds. That was literally shots from these guys, the Spartan, just lots. But they're still alive. They're going to get charged. Let's all face facts here. The quad launchers, I've lost 2 of the spotters off the top. That was pretty much from the Derrideo. Leviathan is down to 2 wounds. That was these 2 bad boys shooting. And that is pretty much everything in the shooting phase. Robin made it into the charge with the Dreadnought. I managed to do 1 wound as part of the Overwatch shots. And then basically his Warlords took lots of shots, and I saved them all on a 5 or 6. And then the Power Fists of the Terminators and the Chain Fists did all of the damage, and he went kabooey.
I was hoping to do it with my Warlord with murderous strikes on his Paragon Blade.
But he didn't. But anyway, he's fine. So now they've moved across. They are now they're now denying that objective. So my Invictaris are a scoring unit because they have the line keyword. So I need to shift
off it, buddy.
But I need to clear you off that now. So there's going to be a lot of shots coming your way. At the start of my second turn, I score 1 victory point for holding on to that objective there, because Siege Breakers have the line special rule as well. Obviously not that one, and yeah, we're going to have to do some moving now. I need to shift these bad boys off that objective. There's an objective there that's free, and there's 2 objectives on that side of the board. The Ultramarines then are now all set, ready to go. The Scorpius has stayed still, and so has the Breacher squad down here. Now, I was just saying to Robin, this, at the moment, is my biggest concern, because there was a full tactical squad in there, and I know it's only a Rhino, but it's being a bit cheeky, and I haven't got really anything to deal with it down here. So I think the Scorpius is going to have to try and pop that for me. Leviathan has moved up. That's going to go try and take out that Land Raider. Here, the Invictaris suzerains have lined up as a gun squad in front of these guys. These guys have stayed still. These guys have got out of their transport onto this objective. The Rhino has stayed there. Siege Breakers moved up within charge range. Contemptor Dreadnoughts moved up after the Spartan. Melter Gun, Power Fist, hopefully might be able to deal with that. Round this side, the Rhino has swept around because there's an objective here, there's a tactical squad here, and I've got Terminators, a Praetor and a Chaplain. Bye-bye. So that is going to be everything moving. Obviously, the Rapiers haven't moved either.
Actually, you owe me a morale.
I do owe you a morale check on there. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, so we're going to do some shooting. I'm going to be using the Ultramarines where they can... I'm going to fire with this at that, and then it does special stuff for everything else that shoots at it. Ding! That was quite an interesting turn of shooting. So the Rhino has taken a hull point down here. That was from the Scorpius. A little bit disappointed. I'd like to have done slightly more damage to that. Leviathan Dreadnought shot down at the Land Raider and the Dreadnoughts with Gravflux and his Melter in his fist, doing a couple of wounds. Oh, doing one wound. No, one hull point off the Land Raider.
No, that one was actually a crew stunned. So
oh, that was crew stunned, yes.
Snap firing and I can't move.
Yeah, that's correct. And then down here, the Spartan has taken 2. That was off the Melter in the fist of the Dreadnought down there. He is snap firing. Basically, all of the Terminators, Praetor, Chaplain, Rhino, all shot down at the tactical squad. No damage done. Phosphex, you might notice a crawling death.
Ouch.
Yeah, Phosphex down here.
Best tanking from the Sergeant ever, though.
Yeah, basically Robin took them all on the Sergeant with Artificer
12
armour.
saves.
Failed 2 of them and then made the feel no pain. So they are absolutely fine. However, what didn't go so well was down here. So, interlocking firepower, as it used to be called, I believe. The Rhino shot down at the Terminator squad down here because it had targeted. That means I had +1 to all of my hits. This tactical squad shot in, did a couple of wounds. Volkite Charger, did shot. Couple of wounds. Robin reacted and actually shot back over at this squad here. He did an absolute bucket load of hits and wounds. 16 wounds. How many guys did I lose?
1.
Brilliant. I saved them all apart from 1.
Wasn't even tanking on Artificer, just normal saves.
Just normal saves. And I just went, yeah, what else you got? Then the Invictara squad shot down, and I also Fury of the Legion at this squad as well, because that means I was Fury in the Legion. 29 dice hitting on 2s. All good.
Wounding. I just want to point out.
Oh, here we go.
He's wounding me on 5s and 6s because of Iron Hands, and the amount of wounds that he's put in from all of those squads was incredible.
It was, and there's 1 Terminator on 1 wound, and you've lost another 2.
2 Terminators and 1's on 1 wound.
So we're going to be heading over to the charge phase. There's going to be quite a lot going on. Leviathan Dreadnought into the Land Raider, the Contemptor Dreadnought into the Spartan, the Invictara Suzerains and the Siegebreaker into the guys here. Terminators I'm going to take into the tactical squad because I want to wipe them out because they're on an objective. So yeah, let's go do some damage. Charging went okay. Leviathan Dreadnought made it into combat. The Invictara Suzerains made it into combat. Robin did Overwatch and did 1 wound on one of my Invictaris guys. Siegebreaker, he also made it into combat. The Contemptor Dreadnought down here did not.
Tripped over his shoelace.
He did trip over and he did not make it into combat. These guys down here made it into combat as well. So we've got a bit of combat going on down here. Bit over there, the Land Raider, but no Spartan. That's the annoying bit.
Killed the one-on-one wound.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you did Overwatch over here as well.
Allows me to do 2 reactions in the assault or shooting phase.
Yes. So Robin Overwatched over there, killing off 1 Terminator. Great. Where do we begin? Let's begin down here. So the Invictara Suzerains went in, followed by the Siegebreaker. Basically, the Invictara Suzerains managed to do quite a bit of damage, and then the Siegebreaker with his Thunderhammer basically completely and utterly annihilated the...
Brutal 2 is scary.
Brutal 2 is very good. I mean, I'm impressed with that.
Strength 8, so instant death in anything. Brutal 2, you got 8 wounds, and I
got 9 wounds.
9 wounds. I had 2 Terminators.
No, I didn't. I got 8. Sorry.
2 Terminators and my Praetor. So it was basically fail a save and die, and obviously I failed through 3 saves.
Yep.
And they all died.
So slay the Warlord, move me on to that objective there. The Land Raider has died. The Leviathan just smashed that apart quite easily. So the Gorgon Terminators are now out onto the battlefield. And then final bit of combat round here. Yeah, as you may see, there is no tactical squad. The Terminators just mullered them as they went in. And so yeah, it's going to be on to Robin's turn 2. So Robin has taken the Rhino into this building here, taken out the tactical squads. They're now inside here, looking out through the windows at the Siegebreaker. The Contemptor Dreadnought passed through the dangerous terrain of the Grav, absolutely fine. So guys on this side of the wall, Dreadnought on this side of the wall. The Gorgon Terminators, they've peered around the edge of the building. I think they might be slightly annoyed at the Invictara Suzerains and the Siegebreaker, so I think they might be coming for some kind of revenge. Yeah, I thought they might. Leviathan Dreadnought and the Spartan Tank. The Spartan Tank has moved back. Leviathan Dreadnought has moved up. That Contemptor Dreadnought is going to be in a world of pain. That's immobilised. They've stayed still because they are on an objective. So at the start of turn 2, Robin also scored 1 victory point for holding on to that objective. The shooting phase for the Iron Hand, the Breacher squad down here are all alive. They took shots from the Rhino and the tactical squad that is inside the building. You will notice that my Leviathan Dreadnought has gone. That was destroyed. However, he went kaboom and killed off 2 of the Gorgon Terminators in the explosion.
I'm shaking my damn head.
You are shaking your head. Robin shot down at the Invictara suzerains with the Gorgons. No damage. My Contemptor Dreadnought down here. Robin shot it with the Spartan.
Everything.
Oh, here we go. Go on.
Basically everything.
Basically, yeah. Robin shot at everything.
I shot with that. I shot with this. I shot with that.
You did 1 wound.
I did 1 wound, and then in return, it blew my gun off.
Yeah, so I did 2 wounds onto the Spartan.
Yeah, 2 wounds. You've killed 2 Terminators. You've done 2 wounds to that and destroyed a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in return, I've basically knocked 1 wound off that, 2 wounds off a Leviathan.
And you've killed a Terminator.
Killed a Terminator.
And put 1 on 1 wound.
My entire shooting, you've pretty much done more damage to me in my shooting phase than I did to you. And I'm supposed to be the shooty army.
Yeah.
It's called Richard doesn't roll anything lower than a 5 or 6 to save this game.
Let's go over to charging. Little bit of a glimmer of hope for Robin. He has made all of his charges. Leviathan Dreadnought has gone into the Contemptor. I did fire Overwatch and I did 1 wound on him because Robin saved 1. Damn him. So he's got 6 left. I've got 1 wound left. I think it's going to be bye-bye Contemptor. The Gorgon have made it into the Invictara suzerains, and the tactical squad has made it into the Breacher squad down here. The Contemptor Dreadnought has died. However, the Leviathan
Nearly killed the Leviathan.
The Leviathan Dreadnought is down to 1 wound. I've basically because of Brutal 3, which by the way is vile, absolutely vile. Down here, Robin did a few wounds to my Invictara suzerains, but I saved them. Obviously. But down here, the Breacher squad have ran. They have lost 7 of their guys, and they've turned around and they have legged it.
They realised that they haven't actually brought their swords with them. Their swords are actually bolters.
Yeah, their swords are bolters, so they've ran off. So the Ultramarines movement phase, what I've done is the Terminators, the Praetor and the Chaplain, they have moved around slightly, looking at the guys in the Phosphex. The tactical squad inside of that Rhino have stepped out, so they now are securing me that objective inside that building. Cheekies. Over this way, they've stayed still. The Siegebreaker has gone up. He's after the Leviathan Dreadnought, the Spartan and the Derideo. Just not in one go. Obviously, the Rapiers have stayed still.
He's realised he's got Brutal 3 weapons, 2 weapons.
It's like, come on!
This magical hammer can do it.
It is a magical hammer. So the Invictaris are still in with the Gorgons. These guys have reacted in the movement phase. They've now
came within 12 inches, so they've just
moved up. These tactical squads, they've moved around. I rallied my Breachers. Yay! Those shots are going to be going down into that squad there, as will the Scorpius Whirlwind. Let's try and take them off that objective. So, shooting time. Quite a good round of shooting for me. The tactical squad down here has been almost completely wiped out. There was only 2 guys left. That was some snap firing shots from the Breacher squad, shots from the tactical squad, and the Scorpius Whirlwind firing down here. The Leviathan Dreadnought has gone kabooey. That was from the shells from the Rapier destroyers. I was going to take some shots with the tactical squad, but there was no point because I wasn't going to wound them. Down here, Robin reacted. He shot at my Terminators and did quite a lot of damage.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of damage done there, wasn't there, Rob?
That was 16 grav wounds.
Yeah, that's quite a lot and quite painful. So the Terminators have gone. We're going to be heading into the charge phase at the moment. So, possibility of going in there. We've got the Suzerains in combat. The Siegebreaker, now that Leviathan's got a big old charge for the Spartan. So, let's see how we get on. A combat phase that went better for Robin.
Woohoo!
I think, because the Invictara suzerains down here are dead. I managed to do 1 wound on the Gorgon Terminators before the Thunderhammer destroyed the 2 that were left. And then over here, Robin issued a challenge with the numpty with a power fist, and died. And then the Praetor smashed 3 of the Medusa Immortals in the face. So we're drawn combat down there. So we're all staying still.
No, I lost the combat but passed my round.
Oh, that was it. You lost the combat past morale. And I don't even want to talk about this idiot that failed a...
Shoelaces. There must be something here.
It's not.
Because
it's charging the Spartan. It's charging that Spartan. Too scared to go into it, apparently. Anyway, the Contemptor Dreadnought has moved around, helping support the Tactical Marines on that objective there. The Gorgons, after being so successful in combat, moving up, looking at the next tactical squad. Spartan, that has moved up. Lascannon's pointing at my Siegebreaker right in the face. Derideo, is it wiggled? Is it what?
I just moved slightly further.
It's shuffled.
Forward, just to get line of sight on other things.
And then these guys are obviously holding combat. At the start of Robin's phase 3, he scored 2 victory points for that objective there and that objective there. In the shooting phase, the poor Scorpius Whirlwind finally succumbed, and that was all the shots from the Contemptor Dreadnought down here. Robin tried to shoot the Breacher Squad, no damage done. Down here, now you might notice a big gap where the Gorgon Terminators are. So Robin shot at my tactical squad, and then I did my Legion reaction, so advanced reaction. So they shot back at the Gorgons, but I also triggered the Rapiers, which shot down with the Phosphex.
Crazy advanced reaction. It's like Tau.
It is like a Tau. So anyway, so there was 2 here. They fired back down. And didn't wipe them out. I killed 1 of them, put 1 on 1 wound, and they then failed their morale and went all the way over here.
Rolled a 12, didn't I?
You did roll a 12. The Derideo then shot at the Rapiers, destroying 2 actually.
2, yeah, and you passed your morale.
Yeah, passed morale. So anyway, that happened. The Rhino's taken 1 wound as well because the crazy Land Raider down here shot at it, and then these guys are all stuck in combat. You have grown wounds back as well, so that's now on 3. That's now on 3, the Spartan. So it's time for combat. Combat down there didn't go exactly as I thought it would. My Praetor has died, giving Robin slay the Warlord.
Gave him a good fisting.
You did give me a good fisting with a power fist. However, he took down 3 of the Medusan Immortals as he was going. So we head over to my turn 4. A little bit limited on the movement, so the tactical squad have stayed still as the other ones have. Praetor is going very close to that Spartan because I don't want him to fail the charge. The Rapier has swiveled. It's going to try and put some shots down onto this. Breacher Squad have moved up. I'm looking at tying these guys up in combat maybe, and then basically contesting that objective, stop Robin scoring it in his turn.
These moved here. I withdrew.
You did withdraw as part of your reaction. So let's head over to shooting. Okay, shooting phase has been a bit dull. Robin reacted with his Contemptor Dreadnought and shot the Rapiers off the gantry, which he's really happy about. However, they did fire the one that was left fired Phosphex down there. He did 1 wound. So not exactly the best, but hey-hos. Yeah. The Rhino down there that's immobilised shot at the Moratat squad. No damage done. We're going to be going over to Assault. Siegebreaker is going to go into that Spartan because I am determined to kill it off. I thought a Thunderhammer would do better against a vehicle.
Yeah, we both did.
Apparently not. So yeah, naff all down there. Absolutely not a scratch on that Spartan. In hindsight, if I'd have known that, I'd have gone after the Terminators around the corner. But like I said, I thought... yeah, anyway, whatever. Don't want to talk about it. Down here, I charged into these guys down here and lost 1, failed morale, and ran off. So they ran off, they rallied, they ran back up, they hit them, did no damage, and then ran off again. Way to go, boys. The Moratat has detached from the squad and is looking at putting some shots down on the tactical squad, holding on to that objective.
These have just shuffled over a bit to get within 12 inches of that Rhino.
Okay, fair enough. The Gorgons have rallied. They've moved up a little bit. The Spartan has moved back. That's going to shoot at the Siegebreaker in the face. And these guys have moved a little bit as well. And that's everything. Kind of a bit thin on the ground now, aren't we?
Yep.
That's quite a pivotal turn this game. The Breachers have been killed by the Derideo. All the shots raining down over here. That tactical squad is untouched. Siegebreaker has been killed. He was shot in the face by the last cannons from the Spartan. This tactical squad that was here, I lost
4.
quite a few. So 4, and then fell morale, and they've ran off. So they're there. Rhino has been destroyed by the Gravy guys over here, but the Moritat did nothing. Not a thing, not a sausage. This squad is okay.
Tanked 8 wounds on the Artificer Armor Sergeant.
Did. So we're going to be heading into my turn because Robin isn't doing any charges this turn, and I'm going to be scoring 1 victory point for that objective there. Considering the amount of units on the board, not overall horrendous. This squad managed to shoot down at the Moritat, doing 1 wound. This squad rallied, came up and shot at the Gorgon Terminators. Naff all done. Same with the Rhino, that shot as well. So naff all done there because they're both snap firing. Over here, they moved up and charged in to that squad there. Basically killed off the sergeant in a challenge, and then the other guy has failed morale and is now there. So the Rhino is currently denying it, but I have just taken Robin off that scoring objective. So the whole of Robin's turn, basically his army, his Derrideo came this way, his Dreadnoughts came this way. They shot at the tactical squad that was down here. Yep, they failed a morale and they ran off, so they're now all the way down here. The Spartan moved all the way up here. Shot a last cannon over at the other squad. Heavy bolters shot down at the squad that was here. 0 damage done, so the Gorgon Terminator went into combat. He did 1 wound, killed off 1 guy, then I failed morale, and you charged me down, didn't you?
Yep.
That's really annoying. And then down here, this squad has ran. They got shot at by the Moritat, who is missing because I reacted, shot back, and killed him. But they also failed a morale, so they have also ran off. So that is the end of turn 5. Shall we roll the dice, see if we get a turn 6? No, we do not. So that is the end of the game, and we've totted up all of the victory points. And for the primary, so holding on to the objectives, it was 6-5 to the Iron Hands. So really good. Then on the secondary, so Slay the Warlord, D3. So I rolled a 1 and Robin rolled a 6. So that put it at 9-6. And then attrition, Robin had killed more units than I had and rolled an extra 2 victory points. So it ended up 11-6 and a victory to the Iron Hands. But let's head over to the post-game review. Hi guys, welcome to the post-game review. That was very, very brutal and bloody, but awesome fun.
Yeah,
That was
really,
a great game.
Really good fun game. It was... the first couple of turns I thought, oh no, this is going to be over for me quite
You was
quickly.
on the ropes, wasn't you?
I was on the ropes, yeah.
He was getting salty.
No, I was not getting salty. I was getting salty.
He was getting salty.
I couldn't kill anything, and you just seemed to be able to kill anything of mine.
Okay, my saves were hot.
Yes.
All the way through that game. There was a couple of times they fouled me.
Super
most
hot.
of the times I was rolling 5 and 6s.
It seemed to be that, you were rolling lots of 5s and 6s for saves.
Yeah.
And then if I did kill anything, and you needed to take a morale, for the first, I think, 2 or 3 turns, you then rolled like a double 1.
It was like auto
it's
pass.
like,
It's like, hey.
he's rolling really high when he needs to, and then rolling really low. So it was just like that. And then I was rolling quite badly to start off with, and then
the dice cards.
I thought when I put my Terminators and my Praetor up, I thought that was going to do some work up there because the Praetor is super tanky.
It really is tanky.
3 up save, 5 up feel no pain. Well, 3 up invuln, 2 up save because he's got the cyber familiar and everything like that. Super tanky, and he got 1 shot by a thunderhammer. Did not see that coming whatsoever.
Neither did your Praetor.
Yeah. So
that
that 1 siege breaker basically killed pretty much my whole Terminator squad and the Praetor. I think I probably should have tried to protect him with maybe doing a challenge with the sergeant of the squad, just to sort of keep him away from that. But I didn't realise that Thunderhammers were as bad as they are, really.
But the thing is, though, I don't know actually, if you'd have issued a challenge and
I would have done it with my sergeant, and then you would have accepted with a siege breaker.
Would
so
I?
those two, well, okay, you might not have, but potentially.
Because that's the thing. Those Invictara suzerains, any of them can accept a challenge.
Yeah.
So I could have said it.
Yeah, I guess so.
They are.
But
they are dirt cheap. I have been reading online about how everybody's like those Invictara suzerains. They deal out a lot of damage, and they are brilliant for your army. But they're too cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
So can we keep it like that, please? Because they are amazing.
2 wounds.
Yep.
4 up invulnerable save. 2 up save.
4 up invuln save in combat. 5 up,
which is where
5 up invuln save in shooting.
Yeah.
2 up save normal.
How many points are they? For 5?
3 points. No, I'm joking. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to.
Well, just comparing to my Medusan Immortals. I think the Medusan Immortals for me in this game did really, really well. I think they were probably my luckiest unit, to be honest with you. I don't expect them to do that well in other battles.
I shot Phosphex at them and they just brushed it off.
They did brush it off. I mean, I was tanking it on the 2 up save. I've got 5 up Feel No Pain on the Sergeant as well, and he did get lucky and managed to sort of save all of them, basically.
Yeah, he did.
And then I was using my reactions to shoot your Terminators with the Grav Moritat, which pumps out so many shots, and then all the rest of the squad. So I was your big threat was that sort of your Death Star, so to speak, the Terminators with your Praetor and everything, and I managed to thin them down with all the grab shots and everything before they even sort of charged me, so they weren't as much of a threat. But Medusan Immortals, that squad is painfully expensive. 10 models, they've got 1 wound each, they've got that boarding shield, they're basically breachers with a 5 up Feel No Pain. That's what they are. 5 up Feel No Pain breachers, and you can give them slightly different equipment, but only the Graviton Shredders. So 2 Graviton Shredders, Power Fist and Artificer Armour in that squad, 270 points.
Wow.
270 points. That is incredibly expensive. I don't know if they're. I don't think they're worth it. They were worth it in that game.
But were they worth it because they were teamed up with the Moritat?
I think having the Moritat in there really helped because their fire output.
That guy just.
But I was pointing them at the targets which I needed to, like vehicles and things like that.
I mean, let's face it. That Moritat. By the way, I did rename him during the game to a Moritat because he was really annoying. I mean, look what he did to the Spartan. He did a lot of damage to that Spartan.
And that Spartan, that should have died on just from his shots.
He should have done, but he didn't.
Because I think I got 10.
Yeah, something like that.
9 glances and 1 penetrating hit with the Moritat, and you saved all of them apart from 1.
Yes, I know. I was really annoying in that game. He was really good. He kept popping in and out. He kept doing loads of things. I mean, yes, okay, he died at the end because of reaction.
I sacrificed him at the end.
You did a little bit.
I thought I can try and harass your tactical squad.
Yeah.
Kill a few of those because the amount of shots. I'm going to kill a few. Maybe force you to do a morale check.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it worked. And you failed. So I got quite lucky there. I think basically for the first 3 turns, the luck was really with you, but then the last 2 turns it really spun. The thing which you lost on was basically every time that there was a contested objective, I managed to sort of do a little bit of damage and then you would run away. So I think what happened was when his armour was holding, I could do absolutely nothing. As soon as the Ultramarines saw, actually, they're killing one of our squad, we've got to run now. That's kind of what was happening.
I had the Breacher squad run twice. I had the other tactical squad kill the Moritat and then run. I had the one in the middle run back as well.
Yeah.
So out of my 5 scoring units, I had 3 of them run 4 times.
Yeah, there was a lot of running.
That was not exactly great, but it's one of the things
that was really unlucky.
I will say, and I just very quickly want to talk about this bit, is how good is the interlocking fire for the Ultramarines?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
And Fury of the Legion.
Yeah.
So there was the Terminators for your Praetor, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And so I fired you only have to tag them, you don't have to wound them, you just have to shoot them. You don't even need to hit them at this point. So I shot with my Rhino, so nice and easy. And then that meant that everything else that shot at them was getting a +1. So it's hitting on 2s. I Fury of the Legion, one of my tactical squads as well. So it meant that I was getting a lot more shots, plus I was hitting on 2s. Yes, You still have to win them as normal, then you get your save, but
Yeah.
it's just the volume of dice that you're putting
But
down.
yeah, I think you only killed 2 Terminators, so it wasn't actually that
No, but
scary.
it was
If it was
fun.
against like other Marines, that would have been scary.
Oh, they'd have been devastated.
But yes, shooting against Terminator is probably not the best target for it, but you needed to get rid of them. And it certainly helped then that when they got charged by the Suzerain and your Siege Breaker, that they just sort of fell over. I think in this edition of the game, Terminators actually do feel like that rock of a unit that they are in the books. They just soak up tons of like that's Fury the Legion thing. I mean they took probably from everything around them probably about 40 odd shots and a couple of them died. That is the type of thing that you hear in the books. The amount of firepower that is bouncing off them. So it actually feels like the books now more this edition, because there's less AP3, less AP2, unless you roll things like Rending and stuff. So I think the mechanics of this game are really good now.
And that's something I just really want to talk about as well, is our reaction. So this is my second game. I had one off camera, and then this is our first battle report. I'm absolutely loving this. This has really like ignited the spark for Heresy for me. So
too.
it had tailored off once. I think once Alan Blythe sadly left us. I think that Games Workshop probably lost their way slightly, and things were getting, I don't want to use the word 40k, but things were getting power up and power up and power up, and it's like the Chaos Demons were coming out, they were really, really hard. You had the Custodes come out, they were really hard, and it just seemed to be this like power creep, where now they've reset, this game works really, really well. Reactions, something that's obviously unique to Heresy, are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
If you remember to do them, because I sometimes forget.
I kept having to remind
you. Did remind me a few times, thank you.
Even to my detriment, where it ended up killing my units. Like, you might want to do a reaction fire to that. But your unit's
such a great tool.
Yeah, it is a good, because you've got to play it. You've definitely got to play around it. You've got to think, right, I'm going to try and bait out his reaction here, so I'm going to put all these fire into here, but actually I want all my shots to go here, and I don't want this unit to take the firepower back, so let's just try and sort of make him think that I'm focusing more on this, and then hit this unit hard.
I think, and we had this conversation, didn't we? I think the one thing that we'd possibly change, out of everything we experienced today, I think the one thing that we'd probably change is Overwatch.
Yeah, it's a bit strong.
It is very, very strong. Hitting at your normal ballistic skill, because obviously it was 6s, it's quite a tough one, that isn't it? I get it.
Because, I mean, the shooting one, the shooting reaction, that's obviously just as strong, but you've got to sort of play around it more, and also, unless you're a completely like assault-based army, there might only be 1 or 2 units charging a turn, so it's really easy to go, right, I'm going to overwatch this one. Whereas if you're an assault-heavy army, obviously you might have 10 units coming in, so it'd be a little bit harder there, but they're not as frequent this edition. So I don't know. The Overwatch, I think, maybe not go to 6s like we've had before.
-1, -2. Because the idea was behind the 6s, is you've got some guys coming screaming at you.
Yeah.
They might be in Terminator armour, it may be a Dreadnought, whatever, and you are grabbing your bolter and you're having to pull it up and you're having to shoot without aiming. You're basically firing from the hip because these guys are coming at your face to slice it. So I get it. So now it's at full ballistic skill. It's like you've almost got time to stop, stand, get your bolter, line up a shot, and fire. Yeah. So that's a little bit missing.
-1 to hit on that would.
I think so.
Then it becomes a 4-up in most cases. So then it's a 50-50 rather than I'm guaranteeing that 2/3 of my shots are going to get through. Really,
So that's possibly something we'd probably put into a change of it. But everything else I think works really well. But the one thing we haven't done yet is played around with Primarchs.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to do.
We don't talk about Primarch.
We don't talk about your Primarch because he's dead. Anyway, he's very dead. But yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see if you got a Primarch versus Primarch. Is it still?
It'll be the same.
It's
as it was
Slobberknocker.
before.
It's just going to be.
It'll be like a dunk. Oh, I've saved it. Dunk. Oh, you've saved it. Dunk.
Yeah.
I think that's probably how it'd be.
More than likely, which is kind of how it should be, unless you're Ferris Magnus.
The key to playing Primarchs is just
don't go into a combat with
them. Avoid the Primarch.
Yeah, that is very, very true. But that was a really good fun game. So we'd love to hear your feedback then, guys, about the battle report. Please leave us a comment down below. Give us a like, it does massively help out the channel. Why not subscribe if you haven't done so already? I'm sure there's a lot of you out there watching this that haven't subscribed. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, apart from it's this ugly mug over here. Why not? Just click the subscribe button and click that bell icon so you don't miss any of the content.
And I've got all these Clash of Arms videos coming out as I'm building this army for tournament. Well, not tournament, it's an event at Warhammer World.
Yep.
So you'll start to see lots more content coming out of Horus Heresy. So if you're into Horus Heresy, then give us a sub.
Give us a sub. But yeah, don't forget there is a link up in the top left for our sponsor Element Games where you can help support the channel and buy all your hobby stuff, which you was going to buy anyway, so why not click on that and help us out at the same time. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.